where our modern day problems now started. Because then we unpacked from there. You took our book. You stormed our temple. You put your face in here. We had to recover the book out of your hands. Start from there. And if they don't believe the Apocrypha, give them the finger. Moderator, I'll mute my mic.
Hey, can we jump to verse 11?
Yes,
Is it
sir.
verse 11 or verse 10?
Verse 10. Oh, you want the
I want evils
multiplied.
multiplied.
Verse
So
9. Yes,
so
sir.
what AO just read, that is the beginning of white supremacy on the earth right there. Like he said, that's the beginning of all our problems right there. Our modern day problems right there. First Maccabees 101, jump to 11.
First Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse 7. So Alexander reigned
1 and
12 years.
verse 1 and verse 11.
Hey, Benjamin, don't unpack it
Yes,
yet.
sir.
Don't unpack it yet.
All right, all
Don't.
right, all right, all right, all right.
Hey,
Go ahead, AO.
hey, give Jada. I know I said I didn't want Jada to get an invite. Y'all send him an invite. Send Jada an invite. Because he tried to diss me when I came into his room. So he typed in the chat, the mods
He
are a bunch of heretics and sadists. Can we
he
look
don't
up?
have he don't have his button on, so you can't
That's
even send him
gay.
an invite.
Jada, that's real gay. That's
That's
gay.
real cowardly, man.
That's like real
Real
like
moist.
it's raining men type gay. Just YMCA type gay type. Just that's it's like how gay can we get any more gayer than that? You came in the room and you made it so that I'm gonna talk and they can't invite me on stage.
That's
You
real
can't.
cowardly of him, man.
That was like pre-calculated gay. Like, honey, does this make me look fat gay?
Gay gay.
Somebody get his scripture, Matthew 23, verse 15.
Matthew, chapter 23 and verse 15. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For ye compass sea and land to make one proselyte. And when he is made, ye make him twofold more the child of hell than yourselves.
So all you got to do is explain how do we make our listeners twofold more the child of hell? Because the people that are going to hell are the ones that decided to rebel. So, Jada, set up your profile. I'm giving permission for you to come on stage and speak. Don't stay in the chat and type like a coward, like you got a skirt on, like you're curled up in your bed with your book and you're watching the Golden Girls.
hey, hey, this guy Jada P sitting down,
Thank you for being my friend. Don't come in here.
watching fried green tomatoes.
Exactly. With your Taylor Swift t-shirt on. Jada, I'm giving you a chance. I've been kicking you out the room. I'm giving you a chance. The door is open unto you. Just come in here like a man. Leave your Taylor Swift t-shirt at home.
Hey, Ayo, you know why he not coming up?
Why?
Cause he know he did you bad in his room, so he
That-
think you gonna do them. You think he
No,
think you
no.
gonna do him the
Listen.
same.
You guys have my word. I will not do what he did to me in his room. I will not
That's
do it.
why.
And how many people are here? I'm not going to lie on him like he lied on me. It's over 800 people here, and I will let him speak freely. Jada, fix your profile so you can get an invite. That's not manly of you. That's real limp biscuit of you. Well, let's move on till he corrects his profile.
Hey, real quick.
Somebody said something?
Yes, Huntsman. Hey, to the topic. They had an interview with Morgan Freeman about this. I think it was a couple years back, and he was with an Edomite, and they was talking about how he felt about Black history, and he said, "What about it?" And he said, "How do you feel about the information and how they teaching the youth about it?" He said he don't care for it. He said he think they should get rid of it. And the white man was so appalled. Sorry, hold on. Yeah, the white man was so appalled that he was like, "What you mean? How can you say get rid of it?" And Morgan Freeman said, "Do you white people have White History Month?" And that white man was so stunned by what he said. And what MZ has said when the white folks heard black people say get rid of the statue, that was for them to be like, okay, you know what? If we get rid of them statues, we can lie on them black people and say slavery never happened. So, you know, the Herodians, like Bishop brought out, the black caucuses, all these scoffers coming in, I think they low-key want to be black caucuses. But, I'm going to leave it right there.
Hey Huntsman, I got that sound bite if you wanna play it.
Go ahead, go ahead.
History Month you find ridiculous. Why? You're gonna relegate my history to a month? Oh, come on, what do you do with yours? Which month is Black History Month? No, come on. Okay. And, I'm Jewish. Okay, which month is Jewish History Month? There is. Oh, oh, why not? Do you want one? No. I'll leave. I don't want a Black History Month. Black history is American history. How are we going to get rid of racism? Stop talking about it. I'm going to start calling you a white man. Yeah. And I'm going to ask you to stop calling me a black man. I know you as Mike Wallace. You know me as Morgan Freeman. You're going to say, this white guy named Mike Wallace. You know what I'm saying? Uh-huh.
Yo, that's the interview right there with Morgan Freeman and Amalek. And the whole time Amalek getting stunned by his conversation. How he said, how we get rid of racism. He said, stop talking about it. And Amalek said,
What's,
I'm
I
a
don't
Jew.
I don't understand. Like, what's the? I'm trying to understand it. Like, what's the point? Like,
The point
what?
was about black
The point
history.
was this. The point was this. When he told them, "Is there a Jewish History Month?" He said no. He said, "So why is there a Black History Month?" You understand? Why are y'all putting emphasis on that? So the
Okay.
black Morgan Freeman was more pretty much trying to make him explain why did y'all give us that month to reflect on. Okay, so he was being more careful how he responded to, because if the number one, the history is teaching us what? Let's look from both sides. The history that they're giving us to is to appease us. Morgan Freeman don't know what we know. But if you're gonna do that, why is there not a Jewish History Month? Okay, we know that the Black History Month that they're giving us is to keep us in a controlled environment. Because don't no niggas give a shit about it. Okay, it's to pacify us. The real Black history we need to know about is in the Bible. So it's the same thing that they did with religion. Give these niggas, make them Methodist, Baptist, Catholic, Jehovah's Witness, Seventh-day Adventist, Protestant, Lutheran, so they won't look for nothing else. Give these niggas a watered down Black History Month so they won't look for nothing else. Okay, so when Morgan Freeman flipped it on him and said, yo, why there's no Jewish History Month? Okay, it shows that these white people got an agenda. They said we're gonna discuss your history, but in a controlled environment. What are we doing with the Bible? We're stepping out of that controlled environment and telling us we want to know about this history that you Caucasians turned into a mystery. Okay, so Morgan Freeman didn't unpack it to the level that I'm doing now, but he proposed that question to the white man that he could not answer. I mute my mic.
Understood. Understood.
Hey, Ela Addis said, I can't agree with that. The real black history is on the walls and tombs and buried under sand. Could you come up here and tell us, Ela Addis? Okay? Invite Ela Addis to explain. Maybe we're wrong. She says she can't agree with what I said. So maybe she could come up and expound more so we can know where to look. Until then, who's next?
Yes, sir. We got Jerry. Jerry, what's your thoughts on the topic, Jerry?
Yeah, I think he was wrong for it. I think he did everything in his power to try to wipe people of color from any influence they had on America. He has yet to attack anything that is of European descent. Um, but he lost me when he said there's good people on both sides. He's telling you exactly what he thinks.
Yes, we forgot that. How could there be good white supremacists? Make that make sense. They never said there were no good Black Panthers when that movement rose up. They never said there was some good Black Panthers. They send the FBI in to destroy all of them. So now the president of the free world comes in and said there was good people on their side. Who are they? Point them out to us and let us decide if they're good. And we can work with them if they're good, like you said, mister. You understand? The black people with a voice did not challenge that. If there are good white supremacists, I want to see them. Maybe it will help public relations. Maybe it will help race relations. If there are good white supremacists, show them to me and explain to us. This is why I don't like when black politicians talk, because they allow these people a chance to walk. Just listen to what I'm saying. All of y'all ponder on this. If he's going to come as the president of the free world and say there were good people on their side, which we've never seen them, point them out. Let us know what they're doing good that can help race relations and public relations. I mute my mic.
Hey, Jerry, you had a response to what A1 just stated?
No, not really, because you can't be a racist and be good. It's technically impossible. Then at the same time, like I said, he attacks everything of color. The Gulf of Mexico was minding its own business. Why do you have to change it to the Gulf of America? Why? Other than to add insult. Why do African countries have to be shithole countries? Why is why is Mexico always sending over its worst? These are his words, not mine. So he has yet to say anything about the Canadian border, where a
Hey
lot.
Jerry, he called the Mexicans. Well, and he talking about us, but he called them animals. He called them
That's what he does.
animals.
That's my point. He attacks everything of color. He had said one thing about the Canadian border. What a lot of individuals that you don't want over here, they come from there. They come from the north. He says everything about. It's just amazing to hear immigration. When the original illegal immigrants are doing the most complaining, it's amazing to me. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I'll be at work. Well, when I was working at this one job, um, the disdain that in a so-called Mexican, if y'all listening, y'all don't understand. Like they hate you all, and you know they hate us. They hate the black folks. When I was working at this one particular job, this construction, right? They would talk so much crap about the Mexicans. Listen, it was bad, and they were trying to talk to me about it. You know me, y'all know me. I make stuff awkward. You know what I'm saying? I make stuff awkward. You know, that's why I get in trouble. But uh, they would say so, and then the Mexicans show up, give them food, give them, because they drink the beer, and they laugh in their face, and they call them wetbacks. You know, uh, um, you had one manager talking about how we basically use their asses for work. We pay them nothing, and they work. They work to the bone. I'm like, damn. I'm like, and Ishikar, y'all be kissing they ass, man.
Well, let me say this one thing, and then I'm gonna shut up.
Damn, man.
If you look at his cabinet, all those coons that shuffled and danced for him, not one of them made it. There's not one black person in his cabinet. That speaks
Exactly,
volumes.
exactly, exactly. See, they don't want. See what you doing, Jerry? What you just did right now? You're complaining. You need to be quiet because you're complaining. You can't. You what are you talking about? Don't see what you see. You can't see. You can't say that. They want you to not see what you're seeing. You understand? They try to fool you. When that man got killed in front of everybody, he got killed. George Floyd got killed in front of everybody. They try to throw. He was on drugs. They just trying to throw that drug. It let's whatever they say, it doesn't matter because what they did was 100% against protocol. Against you're not supposed just because somebody's a thief. He can be even a murderer. He can be in that. You cannot commit. You cannot have judgment because how you feel about it. He have to have his day in court. That's what they say, right? Just to go to show you Negroes, you're not a part of this system.
It's called vigilante justice. That man took
Yes.
the law into his own hands and went against what was written in the law. The same thing with Trayvon Martin. Vigilante justice. That's why he walked. Okay, same thing with George Floyd. You decided you wanted to take matters into your own hand, and he just took it further because he had a uniform on. Well, go ahead, King.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. And black folks they don't pay attention to what people say, and that's what you were saying, Ayo. Like that's why you hate the black politicians because they'll let people say stuff and they don't know how to deal with it. They let you say stuff and they're like,
That's
hold on, no.
how could it just listen? All of y'all listen. The president said there was good people on both sides. Explain to me. I've never heard of a good white supremacist. So just to show me where they are, and I want to meet with them and shake hands with them and see if we can help community relations. What are the good racists doing to make it safe for my people so that we don't clash? If there's good ones, I want to find them. That's all I'm telling you. Don't listen to their words. Look at their behavior. A lot of y'all get rocked to sleep with the right words, and y'all dismiss the behavior. Okay, like women, the man is lying to you, and you're dismissing all the red flags of what that man is. You know he's no good. But all he got to do is lie to you, and you dismiss all the actions that he did that shows you something ain't right.
Hey, time they kill someone, y'all, I want y'all to know what they do. This is what they do. Every time they kill one of us, it could be anybody. It could be a police officer. It could be a mailman. Any one of them kill us. This is what they do. If they find anything that person who they killed, they just throw that in the media. They keep throwing it in the media. If he stole a Snicker at 8 years old, he took a Snicker out the store. They're gonna find that and dig it up, and they're not gonna say he stole the Snicker. They're gonna be like he terrorized stores when he was 12 years old. He was a terror, and he went around and beating up people. That's what they did. That's what they do. That's what they. Who they, what his name is? Hands up, don't shoot. Brown.
Mike Brown.
Frank Brown. That's they did him. They did him the
Uh,
same thing.
uh, Tamir Rice. They
They do.
shot him within seconds of.
Yep.
This was a child with a toy gun. Seconds. As soon as they opened the police car door, they shot and executed a child playing with a toy gun, who was not pointing it at anybody. Okay, he was not pointing it at anybody. He was a little kid playing with a toy gun by himself. No one was being menaced, and they just drove up and executed him. Vigilante justice. He's a nigger. He has a gun. I need to stop him because I have a badge and a gun, and I need to stop him. No questions. Kill first, ask questions later. No, kill first and make up a lie later to justify why we did what we did. And the list goes on and on and on. Okay, and the thing that makes me mad is you black people that when we speak on these points, you get mad at us and you call us the racist. We have not said anything hateful about white people in this room. Even when I was giving the other white lady a chance to speak, I told her, don't tell us that we're evil and we're going to hell. If you're so sure that we are what you're calling us, expound upon it. And then after she got tired of typing 150 sentences in the chat, she came on stage just to repeat the anger that she had in the chat. Tell us what we're saying wrong. And how are we displaying hatred to white people by speaking about the injustices that's being perpetrated by? Tell me how that's hatred. All they got to do so we don't, guess what? How simple this is. Stop mistreating us and we don't have to talk about you. It's that simple. You would not be a topic of discussion if you are not doing the things that we're discussing. Just stop doing it. We don't even, at this point, we don't even want an apology. We don't even want your apology. Keep your apology. It's not going to come. Okay? But just stop what you're doing and we can move on from there. But it's not going to stop. Go ahead, King.
Hey, you know what's crazy about that? What you brought up the kid Tamir Rice who got shot in seconds. When he opened the door and just shot the kid. They played that to the world, and you know what they do psychologically to you? You don't want to buy your guns for you don't want your kids to play like kids. Your kid want to play like the white kids play. You be like, no, you can't buy that gun. They look at you like, why?
Listen, the white kids can play that. It's called paintball. They can put on suits. They can have guns that look like machine guns, and they can play that. Okay? We don't have the money to send our kids to go and do that. That's for white people.
Yeah.
Okay? That's number one. I'm not saying that black people are broke, but that's extracurricular activity that most black kids, their parents will have money to send them to go and do that. Okay? But as I said, it's a simple solution. If you want this not to be the topic of discussion, stop doing it. It's that simple. Just stop doing it. I'm trying to think of another incident that escapes me.
Hey, that's crazy.
Oh,
It's
oh,
so
oh, oh,
many.
oh, this one. Remember the black man that was on the floor surrendering with his hands up. And I don't know if it was a white police woman or white uh, male cop that shot him with his hands up. And he said, yo, why you shot me?
Yeah, yeah,
My
yeah,
hands was
yeah.
up in the air.
He said, I don't know. He said, I don't know.
The cop response was, I don't know why I shot you.
Oh, that was Florida.
Y'all remember that?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Can we
He
post
was
this
I
in
he
think
was
it.
chat?
taking care of that
I
handicap.
think it
He was
was
taking
Northern
care of that
Kingdom.
handicap dude. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
Can
I
we
think
no,
Northern
post
Kingdom shot him.
no, no. It was a white dude shot him.
can
It was
we
a white
post
dude
that
shot him.
to the
He
top?
had Northern Kingdom patience. The patient was
He had a
Northern Kingdom.
patient. He was a healthcare
Okay, yeah,
worker.
yeah,
He was
yeah.
on the floor surrendering for he don't know what he did. And with his hands in the air, he was saying, yo, why did you shoot me? What did I do? I don't remember it. I remember us talking about it on YouTube when we was doing our live, but I just don't remember it. If someone remembers, please post it.
I have the clip. I just gotta go. I post. Give me a second. I get the clip. Give me a second.
I posted the story link in the chat.
Okay, y'all can hear me?
Yeah.
It says Florida cop charged with attempted manslaughter in the shooting of autistic man's unarmed therapist. A Florida police officer was charged with attempted manslaughter on Wednesday for shooting the unarmed black caretaker of an autistic man last July. A cell phone video shows the moments before a South Florida caregiver was shot by a North Miami police officer as he was trying to calm an autistic patient. Gosh, I hate when they just keep repeating the same thing. In addition,
I put the YouTube clip down there too.
in addition to attempted manslaughter in the third degree, third degree, what makes it 3 degrees lower? North Miami police officer Jonathan Aletta was also charged with culpable negligence, a first degree misdemeanor for shooting a behavioral therapist, Charles Kinsley, in July. The charges come 9 months after the incident where police shot Kinsey in the leg, even after he laid down on the pavement with his hands in the air and pleaded with them as he was simply trying to help the autistic man. Police had said they were responding to a report of a possibly suicide man walking around with a gun. So you kill a man that's trying to commit suicide. Make it make sense. According to a statement from Miami-Dade State Attorney Catherine Fernandez Rundle announcing the charges, a resident of the Miami Achievement Center for the Developmentally Disabled who required 24-hour supervision left the facility with a silver tanker truck toy. Kinsey, the resident's behavioral therapist, followed the man in an attempt to get him to return to the facility, according to the statement. The statement said Officer Oletta, who was about 150 feet away from the two men, fired 3 shots in their direction. Officer Oletta was not in a position to correctly assess the situation or in a position to accurately fire. It was one of the officers Oletta's shot which struck Charles Kinsey, and the statement said, adding that there were 2 other officers who were within 20 feet of the situation. So there was officers 20 feet close. He was 150 feet away. Do the math. Do the math. He was 8 times the distance. So from a
Hey,
distance,
look what it says. The part two that I'm reading, it says the officer who shot Kinsey said he had been aiming at the patient, who the officer believed was threatening Kinsey with a gun. But then what it says here, both Kinsey and the patient were unarmed. So that's crazy. See how they try to lie? He tried to lie and say I was shooting at the other guy who you thought was threatening, but both of them, neither one of them had a gun. In the picture I'm looking at, the black guy's laying down on his back
that's
with
what
his
I
Hey,
saw.
hands up.
I saw
That's
just
shoot.
black.
crazy.
He was on
That's
the
crazy.
floor with his hands up. And this is the point what I'm saying. That's why you black people, you make me sick. Because you come in this room. I don't mind the white people doing it. because they've been doing it for histories. It's normal now. I don't expect anything different. But you black people that come in the room and hear this discussion and call us racist and say we're evil and we're going to hell for discussing the problems in our community that they keep doing. Okay? So y'all see, audience, y'all see the fight we have on our hands? I mute my mic.
Hey, so this is what it is. And my daddy was a police officer, right? He told me it's all about wording. Like they play word games. So it's not what you know, it's what you can prove.
Hey, King,
That's
King,
basic.
King, King, stop,
Yes,
stop,
yes,
stop,
yes, yes, sir.
stop.
I
Somebody
messed up.
just said that he was acquitted. Is that true?
No.
Somebody just put he was acquitted. I didn't know that. Find out if that was true. Somebody said that the charges was dropped and he was acquitted. It was dismissed.
I can't even look it up right now. I'm driving. Damn.
Hey, King is going what you're saying because when I read the part, he said that he shot the black dude because he was aiming at the patient who he thought was threatening the black guy. So how that's worded is like, oh, I made a mistake. I thought the guy was being threatened, so he shot him. That's how he can be acquitted because, like you're saying, King, it's the way he's wording it makes it seem like,
Right.
oh, it was just a mistake.
You you can't go to jail for being a bad shooter. Now you can go. Now what they can do is sue, but I'm talking about for a cop. Now for you and I, you going to jail. But I'm just saying for a cop, he's not
That was just
quite
in line with
yeah.
his duty.
Yep,
For a
yep, that's what
cop,
I'm
that was
thank
in
you, thank
line
you.
with his
Thank
duty.
you. Thank you.
And there's a margin of error as he executes his office. Okay, there's a margin of error that's allowed. That was in line. If it, like they say, they like to say, did he do anything outside of the scope of his training? They say the training can't cover anything, but he did this in line of his duty. This is not outside of policy. So we're gonna bring him up on charges, but we're gonna get rid of the more serious charges. Bottom line, he just made a mistake when he shot the nigga. So shut up, you black coons. I'm mute my mic.
Now watch this. Ayo, watch this. Now Sony Massey, right? What about her? Because he broke everything dealing with how they supposed to shoot. They supposed to shoot center mass, not in the face. He even told her, "I'm gonna shoot you in the face," and he did that. That's not. Uh, that's not in the scope of his duties.
That's premeditated.
Yeah,
That was outside of
yeah.
what's in training where they tell you exactly where they're going to shoot you and shoot you there. Does it say anywhere in the manual to shoot, to tell the person, I'm going to shoot you in your effing face? Because I think he did say that. I think he said, I'll shoot you in your effing face and then do it.
What's even more scary is Trump wants immunity for policemen, and if he gets that, it's going to be open season. He masks it under their doing their duty, and they shouldn't have any consequences for doing their duty, mistake or not. So that's going to
That's
be
that
open
Proud Boy
season.
stuff. That's that Proud Boy stuff.
That's going to be open season.
But listen, listen. It is. But you black people don't listen. Ayo been saying. Oh, you want to say something, Jay? I don't know if you. Well, but black people don't listen, and we all listen. For I don't know how long we've been having this room open. You have thousands of people come through this room, sir, and we tell the people this is going on and why it's going on, and we show them the evidence. You know, through the scriptures and prove that God said this was going to happen, and it actually happened. And people will cry on the stage. They'll do this. They'll be like, yeah, 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 and they won't keep the commandments. So you know what God doing? God gonna ramp it up. God is gonna ramp it up. And they think the white people, they really think white people love them. They really think white people care about them. It's they playing you. They just smarter than you. For you to believe that they care about you, it shows that they smarter than you. Because you believe it. You a dumbass. You're dumbasses. They are smarter than you because you actually believe they care about you. Here it is. They kill us every day. They kill us all day long, and they making excuses for killing you. And you use this they like George Floyd thing. You know, Timur Rice. You know, the list goes on and on. They always got an excuse. But when your ass do it, when your ass actually make a mistake and you actually do it, they put your ass away. Well, you shouldn't have did this. You shouldn't have did that. Let a cop do something. Well, he had a lot of stress on. He had a lot of stretch. Uh, yeah, I mute my mic.
Hey, hey, read Zechariah 11 and 5 to go along with what you're saying. Because, like you said, we showing in the scriptures every day, tell them what's going to happen, read it from the Bible, but they don't want to believe it. Read Zechariah 11 and 5. Just read the top part of the verse
Zechariah
for the
chapter
reader.
11 verse Zechariah chapter 11 and verse 5. Whose possessors slay them,
So
and
we've been telling y'all that we've been possessed by these other nations. We've been taken captive. Keep reading.
hold themselves not guilty.
And that's it right there. Brother just heard in the article the guy been acquitted. How many times they've been killing us and then not guilty, not guilty, not guilty. Right there in the scriptures, we be telling y'all every single day, but like King saying, y'all don't want to listen. Y'all ain't paying attention to nothing we saying. But the crazy thing is we're getting it from the Bible, which all y'all people in Christianity say y'all believe. I mean my mic.
And also, so the room does not become an echo chamber. And we always critique the people who come in our room and tell us they have a better way with no explanation. And we're clear. Our solution is to apply God's laws. And we don't have to deal with this. What do I mean? I work in law enforcement. And the power that they have is based on the community itself being unstable, meaning they put the police officers statistically where they feel that there's more issues. So that's how they justify having the police presence there. There's white communities you go through where you will not see, you're lucky if you see one police car. Okay, so when we say to keep the commandments, we mean to police ourselves. We don't let drug dealers make our parks unsafe. I live in New York City, all 5 boroughs. I could go anywhere and tell you within minutes who's selling drugs where. Okay, and I'm born and raised in New York. You drop me in any borough, I could tell you who's selling drugs where. Okay, I go into white neighborhoods. I don't know where there's drug dealers. I don't know where there's Bloods and there's Crips. Because I don't see no graffiti. I don't see no loud music. I don't see white men walking with their pants hanging off their ass. Okay, so in keeping the laws, starting with love your neighbor. Okay, we got to learn to love each other. We got to train up a child so our child does not become statistics. We got to build a marriage according to the way the Bible says, because that's the greatest bond that we have in a society. A strong marriage produce strong children. Strong children produce strong generations. Okay, we got to educate our kids. Now, no more going to the white man's school system. Okay, we got to keep the black money in the black community. So y'all can't say we don't got no answers. And we say to keep the commandments. We see biblically how our forefathers thrived. They stayed away from the other nations. Okay, we're not in here telling y'all to hate white people. We just explaining to y'all that y'all got to stop relying on white people. But niggas come in this room and that's the message they walk away with. Okay, we're not telling no time in this room we said to hate white people. Okay, but we telling you we don't need them to fix our problems if we're keeping the commandments. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not commit adultery. Honor thy mother and thy father. Love your neighbor. Give honor unto your wife. She's the weaker vessel. But what do we have black people come in the room and y'all reading that Bible? Y'all need to vote. Okay, the voting is, oh, there's no such thing as an election. All presidents are selected. Okay, we saw that with Hillary. A white woman won the popular vote. They still put who they wanted in office. We saw that with Al Gore when the Bush beat him out. Okay, he was celebrating a victory. Then all of a sudden, Bush gets a phone call from his brother that controlled Florida and say, "Oh, we made a mistake with the numbers. My brother said I won down here." So you black people keep thinking that your vote, they don't give a shit about your vote, man. You don't have no power. There's an electoral college of white people that decide the outcome. Okay? And the problem is, as we said before, we've tried everything else. Why not try God? Moderator, I'll mute my mic. And not white man Jesus like you black Christians in the church on Sunday that's singing and dancing and banging tambourines. Not that bullshit from the pulpit where you paying your tithes and they telling you lies. Everything's gonna be all right now. Turn to your neighbor and say God is good all the time. Not that coon shucking and jiving stuff. We talking about real talk where you hold your congregation accountable. Real talk. Like the way our forefathers did in the Bible. Okay? We got to move as a theocracy. Theo meaning God. Ocracy is the government. Whatever God say is what we display. Democracy don't help nobody. That's just a false sense of security that you have where they make you think that your opinion matter and then they do what they want behind the scene and remind you you a nigger. Moderator, I'll mute my mic. Hey, and if your black church is doing good, come up in here and tell us. We condemn all black churches. If your black church is doing what the Bible say, then I'll retract my statement. But as of right now, we condemn all black churches. Show us where there's a good black church so we can support it and we could talk about it and we can let the people know. But your black church is trash. We gotta open a room and call it that. Your black church is trash.
Seems like we got a topic for tonight.
A Queen King Cole said incest is biblical. I sent him the person an invite. I'm not responding to nobody that's in the chat. Come on stage and ask your questions. Because then you're going to say we took your words out of context.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, who was the A1 in the chat?
Sent them an
Queen,
invite.
Queen Cole.
Oh, King Cole.
Yeah, she talking real spicy.
I was trying to wait if he's not addressing my question. Hey, King Cole, come up. We sent you an invite. We don't do well with keyboard stuff. Soldier. Okay.
Hey,
All
were
right.
they
So,
fighting? Were they fighting for Donald Trump all night? Because I remember we had that last guy, Ernest. That's when I was on Ernest, and I forgot the other dude name. And they was in love with Trump.
Bruh, we had a white woman come in here and rip me a new one. Okay, even when I was apologizing to her, and 'cause she was calling us evil, she's saying we of the devil. You heard her before, but she went full white woman on us this morning.
Is that the
So
Ethiopian Bible lady?
no, no, not her, not her.
Okay.
Not her. Okay, she sounds like she's black, but we checked and she's a full white woman. But the point is, She kept saying we're evil. Kept saying we're going to hell and we're misleading the people. We're destroying humanity with what we're teaching. So I said, look, I apologize. Maybe there was a misunderstanding. I'll give you the floor to speak uninterrupted. And all I want you to do is show how we are misleading the people. She was like, goodbye, goodbye. Because you know how they ramble and they want you to argue back and forth with them. So I just said, look, I apologize. I don't want to argue with you. I'm glad you came on stage. Could you help us out since we're misleading the people? All she said was goodbye. I'm not talking to you. She just came on to unmute and cuss me out and say that we're evil, we're going to hell, and we're destroying humanity. You missed that one, man. You missed it, Judge.
Oh man, it sounds interesting. Crazy people. I was watching a video today when this Venezuelan lady was all jumping around for Trump, for Trump, for Trump, and then they started kicking people out the country, and she's like, they manipulated us. They said that they wasn't gonna mess with us.
The ones in Florida?
I don't know where she was from,
Yes, I saw it. They were in Florida, and they said we
but he was
supported you.
yeah he was like rubbing her shoulders when she was like jumping up and down, and he was standing behind her holding her hands up. Venezuelans for Trump, and then
Yep.
she got the
They
yeah, it's
said we
hilarious.
supported you, and because there's a large communication population of them down there, and the manipulation was this: the incentive to for people to get on board behind Trump was to say we're going to get rid of the people, the undesirables, the criminals that came over the border, that's creating crime, that's disrupting the community, they're repeat offenders. So when they started locking them up, which was very few, they said, we did say we were going to go after criminals. They say, yeah. But they said, if you came over the border illegally, you are a criminal. Okay, so that's why they don't have no voice now. Because every time they spoke about the deportation process, it was to get rid of, they kept saying, and remember when they was pushing that MS-13 shit in New York,
Right.
they took one case on Long Island, which there's absolutely no gang activity there. The gang stuff, you know it is in Queens. You hear Nas talk about it. You hear MC Shan, all of them, all the way back from the 80s. I could tell you where the crime activity is going on back into the 80s. Okay? Late 80s, early 90s. That's my era when I was in the streets. I'm in my 50s now. It's not hard to find where the criminal activity is. There is nowhere. Listen to me when I tell y'all, I know New York. I know New York. There's nowhere in the five boroughs where you can show me a Mexican gang terrorizing the community or making it unsafe for the streets. I can show you where all the black people are that's doing it. Okay? I've never ever saw any MS-13 anywhere in any of the boroughs that people are like, yo, watch those MS-13s right there. They crazy. I can show you where they say there's Bloods, this is Blood neighborhood, this is Crip neighborhood. They will take your cell phone. They will take your sneakers. They will rob you for your all the way back to the 8 ball jackets. They will take your sheepskin coat. They will take your chain. Okay? I know, I remember being warned going to high school and seeing kids get robbed. Was never no Mexican kids doing it. Never no Mexican kids rob my kids that are now the next generation that's coming up. But all of a sudden, Trump showed one MS-13 situation, which nobody could confirm. Okay, one situation of a shooting, and they check his social media and trace him to a MS-13, and that's all we kept hearing in the media. Okay, and the people who know the streets, we were not buying it. Okay, so what they did was they went to where they do live over the border and saw the crime, and they said, oh, that's what's coming here to America. So they got everybody to jump on board. That's how uh, uh, the
Right.
powers that be work. It's called order out of chaos. Create chaos, then restore order. Go ahead, I'll mute my mic.
If I may, that is so right. Because on the Power Hour, You know, Northern Kingdom was bringing it out. They're professing all this crime and all that, but they're going to people's jobs to arrest them. I was like, what the hell is that about?
And pulling them out of schools. That's why
Yeah,
Trump wants control of the Board of Ed. They want to make it government now. Because once it's labeled government, they don't have to deal with the bureaucracy or the red tape to come on those public school systems to instill their reign of terror. That's why he wants control of the Board of Ed.
these dogs have no shame, no shame. You know, such hypocrites, such hypocrites, and that's what sucks about our people. Is like they're so easily bought and manipulated. It's like that lady earlier that you were referencing is she had some sodomite vibes. I think she's kind of a uh, lesbian or something. But she's just so masculine, and the fact that you know she hates the commandments. You see what I'm saying? It's easy to spot them how evil and how vulgar they can become in just seconds. Because you quiet down, you apologized to give her a time to speak, and she did not stop yelling. She hated your guts. Hey, yo, she hated the bass in your voice. It was ridiculous because and she's not her way of life is not tolerated, and she knows that. She feels that, and that's the thing about these so-called Christians. It's like they can't do no wrong because all things are good in Christ. You know, Christ died for me to be who I am, and it's like, where'd you read that? You know what I'm saying? It's like, but and that's where you can tell that hatred comes from. It's their wickedness is not tolerated. It's not. It's not. You know what I'm saying? It's just. I don't know. That's just because I deal with this with my family every time. I mean, two of my brothers were in the church, and now they're both gay. And it's like, what the hell? What the hell did you learn? That's Christianity. It teaches you, oh no, it's all good in Jesus. It's like, nah, dude, there's gonna be penalties for that, and it's like they just don't get it. And as long as they get like that, like just the thought of, let me express myself, let me give my opinion. Okay, go ahead. Now you got the floor, and that's enough. You know what I'm saying? And then that's where they just feel so empowered. And you know what I'm saying? It's like that lady in Florida just, oh yeah, Trump. And it's like, oh, what happened? I thought you had our backs. It's like, come on. Bitch, you knew I was a snake. you know?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got anybody new on stage? Anybody new? I'm driving. 9%.
Yes, I'm here.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so was he wrong for canceling Black History Month? I mean, we didn't get any prizes for Black History Month. So I mean, like, really, what difference does it make? And he didn't. Not only did he cancel Black History Month, he canceled Pride Month. He did do that. But if you don't, I mean, there was nothing to celebrate. So I don't get it. I'm like, who cares if he canceled it? But yeah, where I'm confused is that he signed a proclamation on January 31st honoring Black History Month. So maybe my thoughts are not of God because I am confused at this point. Like, why does it even matter? And then I would like to ask a question if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
So are you not gonna say anything about my opinion of Trump canceling Black History Month?
What you want us to say?
Just-
Yeah,
I
I
just
don't
want to know
know.
where I'm
What?
wrong. What I mean,
I
what difference does it make if
that's
he
just
canceled it?
yeah okay. Woo.
I mean, I'm serious. What difference does it make? We didn't get any prizes when he canceled it. I mean, when he didn't cancel it, we didn't get any prizes. So I mean, I really don't care if he canceled it or not.
And to her point, If you come into New York City, there's a Malcolm X Boulevard and a Martin Luther King Boulevard, and those are the wickedest places in Manhattan for black people. Ain't nothing but evil going on there. So I'm sorry to say it, okay? Most black people don't care. The generation that we had during the civil rights era is gone. They're old. They died off. Okay, I was born when Martin Luther King was killed. And I watched the depravity of our people from the 60s to the 70s, then 80s, okay? And they don't care. I don't know no kid growing up that cared about Martin Luther King. And there was a presence of Malcolm in Harlem. But after we found out what happened with Elijah Muhammad and that whole movement with Malcolm, after they put that documentary, the movie, I think Spike Lee did it, it changed how we looked at Islam, okay? Because Malcolm was really devout to what he was following, his spirituality, but there was some evil black men involved. So to the sister's point, nobody really cares. And nobody's going to complain. You watch, no one's going to complain that he got rid of black history. Nobody's going to complain. They don't care. Black people don't care because they are unaware. Okay?
I'll
That's what.
say this.
Go ahead.
We are more than Malcolm. We are more than Martin. You have individuals such as Emmett Till. You have individuals such as Harriet Tubman, Hannibal, who conquered Europe on the back of an elephant. We're more than just those two individuals. And I would say for everyone that doesn't care, there's someone that does. All you have to do.
Yeah, and the same people that care about that probably celebrate Christmas. So, can I ask? But yeah, like I said, he signed a
Hey,
proclamation
sis,
on.
sis, hold on one sec. I don't
Yeah.
think Jerry was
Even
finished.
if it
You
is
cut
for a
out.
month. I'm sorry. Can you hear
You,
me
you,
now?
you cut out. Yes, go back, Jerry.
Okay.
We'll get to you,
Some
Judah. Just hold on for one sec.
okay.
Go ahead, Jerry. You finish.
Oh, some recognition is better than none, even if it is for a month, even if it is the shortest month of the year. Some recognition is better than none because the things that they do teach, the very little that they do teach, now you're saying they don't teach it at all. They're already trying to ban books in Florida. So imagine what else is going to be lost in the pages of time because it's not taught or it's not shown, even if it is brief. So again, my point to all my brothers and sisters in here, with all due respect, I love all of you all. We are so much more than just Martin and Malcolm. We have achievers. We have Haile Selassie, Granville Woods. We have so much. We have Barack Obama, Michelle Obama. So we got to stop thinking small. And if they do not, and if the kids do not have an interest in these things, then at least we can say we tried. We taught you. Now, what you do with it in your generation, that's on y'all.
Now, Jerry, you're 100% right. I can't disagree with anything you said. Is this your first time in the room, Jerry?
It is.
Okay, so watch this, Jerry. I don't think you're familiar with what we teach here because I agree 100% with what you said. But let's take it further back than that. According to the most widely circulated book on the face of the planet, that is the history they're worried about, the Bible. Okay, remember, Moses passed for an Egyptian. The Egyptians were black. Joseph was sold into Egypt. His brothers didn't recognize him. The Egyptians were black. King Solomon says, and he was a pivotal king in the Israelite history. Get that. Songs of Solomon 1 verse 5, reader.
Yes,
Okay?
yes, sir.
And this is what we need to focus to unpack all those great leaders that you spoke about that they hide from us. Their greatest energy was focused on hiding the fact that Jesus Christ was black. The Bible
Exactly.
describes God as black. God's chosen people, the 12 tribes of Israel, are melanated black people. There's no historical account of the Bible of Caucasians being the people of the book. And that's why when they took us in slavery, Jerry, They made it illegal for us to read the Bible, and they made us uneducated. If you were caught reading the Bible, you were violently beaten. So they let generation after generation of ignorance go through our community to the point where even when they freed us, they said, you can't vote because you don't even know how to sign your name. They made us take a literacy test before we could vote. So the primary focus was to keep us out of that Bible because that's where our power was. Read that Songs of Solomon 1 verse 5. Read it.
The book
I
of Song of
agree.
Solomon, chapter 1 and verse 5. I am black, but comely. O ye daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Kedar,
If you
as the
look up that
curtain.
word Kedar, it means dark skin. Go to chapter 5, verse 11. Read that, please.
Song of Solomon, chapter 5 and verse 11.
No. Yes. You're in the right place. Go ahead.
His head is as the most fine gold.
That was the quality of his hair. Read on.
His locks are bushy and black as a
So,
raven.
so here we have a pivotal king, the most wisest king in the Bible, saying, I am black but comely. And then it speaks about his hair being bushy black locks. Get Job chapter 30, verse 30. Read that, please.
Job chapter 30 and verse 30. My skin is black upon me, and my bones are burned with heat.
Job, another pivotal figure in the Bible, says, my skin is black. Jeremiah 14, verse 2. Read it, please.
Jeremiah chapter 14 and verse 2. Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. They are black unto the ground.
Jerry, do you know that they're writing new revisions of the Bible to remove these things? Because finally, we're reading the Bible through God's eyes and not the white man's lies. We're
I
pulling
agree.
book after book that's showing you that the first revolutionary to put fear in the hearts of Caucasian people was Jesus Christ, the black Messiah. Watch this. John chapter 11, verse 45. Read that, please.
The book of John, chapter 11 and verse 45. Then many of the Jews which came to Mary and had seen the things which Jesus did believed on him.
He started to gain a following because in white supremacist church, they say he came to his own and his own believed him not. That's not true, Jerry. This is the reason why there was an issue with Jesus Christ while he was nailed to a cross. It said many of the Jews were seeing the things that Jesus did, believed on him, but this was the problem. Read on.
But some of them went their ways to the Pharisees
The
and,
Pharisees, the Pharisees were the black religious leaders of Christ's time. Read on.
and told them what things Jesus had done. Then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees a council and said, what do we? For this man doth many miracles.
He was doing good things for the people. He was healing the sick. He was feeding the poor. He fed the masses. He gave people back their eyesight. He was performing miracles. There's nothing you can show when he walked the earth that was bad. So why did the leaders of the church say, what are we going to do about this guy? We need to stop him. Read on.
If we let him thus alone,
If we leave
all,
him to interact with the people to the level that he's doing and promising and showing them that there is a God that loves them, read on.
all men will believe on him.
They did not want people to believe on him, as the scripture says. Read on.
And the Romans shall come and take away both our place and nation.
So I read this, Jerry, to show you there were black political puppets in office protecting the Roman government. The entire New Testament was a people that was being oppressed by Caucasian people. It was Rome who put John the Baptist in prison. It was Rome that ordered the execution of Jesus Christ. That's why the people were waiting for a savior. Get Luke chapter 1, verse 68. So
The
we
book
need
of
to
Luke,
read the Bible without religion. We're not a religious movement, Jerry. Okay? The Bible is a book, it's a book of nationality. There is a nation of people that God wanted to rule the earth, and we could prove with book, chapter, and verse it is the Negro in America that they enslaved us, changed us, and renamed us. They stopped us from speaking our native tongue. They forced us to speak English, like you saw with Roots. When they took Kunta Kinte and they beat him, and he said, "Your name is Toby, boy." Okay, they Americanized us because they want to pull us away from our God-given heritage. Read it, reader.
Luke chapter 1 and verse 68. Blessed be the Lord God of Israel, for he hath visited and redeemed his people, and hath raised up an horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David, as he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began,
All of the prophets since the world began was speaking God's plan, which is this. Read on.
that we should be saved from our enemies
The Israelites had enemies since their inceptions. Read on.
and from the hand of all that hate us.
People hated us, but they don't let us read these things in the Bible. Go to Psalms chapter 83. Watch this. Psalms 83, verse 1. Read it, please.
The
Why is
book of
this in the
Psalms,
book of Psalms, but they don't read it in the Christian church? Read it.
the book of Psalms, chapter 83 and verse 3. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people
There was always a coalition of nations that was against God's chosen people. Read on.
and consulted against thy hidden ones.
Because they wanted to hide our identity. It's historic. The entire Old Testament is people going in and out of slavery, starting with the Egyptians. Just start your quest from there. The forefathers look like the Egyptians. That's why white people say blacks had blacks in captivity. Okay, and we can explain why that existed in the Bible. Because there were other people, all dark skinned folk ain't kinfolk. Like I tell people in New York City, there's a African community that want nothing to do with the Negroes here. So it's the same descendants of the Egyptians that we read about in the Bible that hated us because they had their own gods, they had their own system, they had their own belief. They've trained us to believe that all dark skinned folk are kinfolk, but the scholars know that's not true. Reader, you got your Zondervan Bible Dictionary?
Yes, sir.
Have that on. Look, get Ham. Look up Ham. I want to show Jerry something because this is his first time in the room, and I want him to know why we teach what we teach and how we preach and what separates us from the Christian church. Read it.
This is the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, page 213. Ham, Ham, perhaps Hot, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races,
So white people know this, that Ham, the son of Ham, was the progenitor of the dark races. Read on.
not the Negroes,
Not the Negroes. Read on.
but the Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, and Canaanites.
So this proves that they know all dark-skinned folk ain't kinfolk, because those same nations he named, they had God's people in slavery. That's in the Bible. The Egyptians had a stronghold. When you see Charlton Heston's playing Moses freeing the people, that is a Hollywood lie. There was black people holding black people in captivity, but the scholars know the history. The Negroes was given to us, it's just Latin for black. There's nowhere in the Bible where people call themselves black. But when they erased our identity, they called us black. They called us Negro. They called us African after a white Roman conqueror, Leo Scipius Africanus. When they brought us to America, they called us American after a Spanish explorer, Amerigo Vespucci. Then they called us colored. Then they called us a minority. They've always cut us off from our biblical identity. Go back to Psalms 83. This is why. This Bible is a book of prophecy, and this is why they never wanted us to use our God-given identity. Read it.
Psalm chapter 83 and verse 4. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation,
There was a calculated plan so we cannot stand. They said we want to cut these black people off from being a nation. Read on.
that the name of Israel may be no more in
So
remembrance.
we don't even know that we are the Israelites of the Bible because Caucasian people converted to Judaism. That's why they call themselves Jewish. The suffix ish, blackish, brownish, bluish, because they know historically they were never the Jews of the Bible. There was a conversion under a man named Cajun Bullen. We have the books, we have the documents. They dwelt in the Caucasus Mountains of Georgia, Russia, and during the fight between the Christians and the Arabs, they took the side of the Christians. And that's when they converted to Judaism. And that's when they concocted the plan to wipe out the people that were calling themselves the Jews, because it would put them in a position of white supremacy, because everybody knew that the spiritual book, the one true God, favored those people. So that's why they control the Middle East now. That's why America is giving them money to bomb Palestinians or any people that don't look like them. So when we start to unpack true black history, it starts in the Bible, starting from the beginning. Watch this, Jerry. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1. By simple process of elimination, this is when God spoke to us as a nation. This is the very first time God manifests himself to us as a nation of people, and he was bringing us into a covenant with him. Read it, please.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 1. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high, above all nations of the earth.
That was God's plan. For the people who you call Negro or you white people call niggers, God said he wanted what? Read it again.
And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high, above all nations of the earth.
God wanted the people who y'all call niggers now to be the top nation on the earth. And historically, we were. Okay? These white people came out of caves and made us slaves and trained us how to behave. That's historic. We got the books and we have the historical account to show it. So there was a flip side to God's promise if we didn't agree to his contract. Drop down to verse 15. This is what he said would happen if we didn't listen. Read on.
Verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So he said, I have the ability to bless you and make you the most powerful people on the planet. But if you disobey me as your God, I will disrupt your life with curses. So let's go through these curses and see who they fit. We'll see if this fits black people or white people masquerading around saying that they the real Jews. Read it.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse, where you want me to start at, sir? Verse 15, 16?
Keep reading, yes.
Yes, sir. Cursed shalt thou be in the city.
All the cities where black people are is cursed. We don't control the government. We don't have no entity that represents us, that there's no white hands inside of it. Okay? Even in the other lands where there's black people, there's a white supremacist power structure to destabilize and topple the government at any time they don't want to play ball. Okay, I watch where they put restrictions on buying and selling and imports to keep, they created inflation in other countries. Okay, so that everyone is indebted to them. America's only great because of hate. They used us for hundreds of years of free labor and made us illiterate, and their children went to school. They had 100% profit for hundreds of years, and then when they freed us, they made sure that they kept the imbalance, where they keep a political power structure in place so we cannot catch up even if we play by the rules. So God said our cities will be cursed. Read on.
Cursed shalt thou be in the field.
What are we known for in the fields? Picking cotton, sugarcane, tobacco, peanuts. We were whipped from sun up to sundown. And we owned fields at one time. What happened? They stole it from us. Read on.
Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store.
We don't own any Amazons, no Walmarts, no car manufacturing companies like Tesla. We don't control any entity. I found out the other day a black woman created the internet. Okay? A black woman created the technology that we use for the telephone system now, for internet phone. Well, who has the patents? White people. So this is what God was telling us. We'll be cursed in the cities, we'll be cursed in the fields. curse will be our store and our baskets. You got rich athletes in basketball. What do they have? White handlers. You got rich actors that they lose a role or get a role because of white Hollywood. You got black politicians, they have no voice. So we could point out the few black people that are in a position of power, but the power is fake. It's not real. It cannot be yielded. Drop down to verse 30.
Verse 30. Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her.
They raped our wives, our mothers, our children in slavery. They raped us on the slave ships. We have the books and the documentation to show it. Even on the plantation, you could be happy with your wife and they will send your wife to another plantation. Or like the movie Emancipation with Will Smith. They put him to work on the railroad and his wife had to injure herself because they were marrying her off to somebody else on another plantation. This is biblical, Jerry. Read it again.
Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her.
They tell us that when we say motherfucker, it is a curse. No, it's not a curse. It's a system that white people put in place to breed more slaves. There's documentation. Just Google it. Y'all got smartphones. There's documentation that the first time we heard motherfucker is when they forced black slaves to have sex with their mothers because they considered us animals. It's in their constitution that you are three-fifths of a human being. So they made us have sex with each other like animals to breed more slaves because most of them were dying. It was too costly to keep bringing them over here on slave ships. Most of them were dying for the horrible conditions from being chained up for so long. They didn't give you any bathroom breaks. They didn't bring you any water. They didn't give you 3 square meals. Most of them starved to death and died. Read on.
Thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein.
You watch the movie 12 Years a Slave. It was a true story about a slave that got his freedom and they re-enslaved him and they had him building a house. Only the house nigga could come in the house. You was in the shed or the barn. We built some of the monumental structures in the United States, even the White House, and no niggas are allowed there. Read on.
Let, let me just say real quick. I have to go because I have clients, but I have joined the room. I agree 100% with everything that you said. I look forward to conversing with you, brothers and sisters, later on. But I do have to go. But I appreciate it.
All right, Jerry. We're here every day except for Saturday. So just come through. All right.
Thank you.
All right, Jerry. Read that verse again.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 30. Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and shalt not gather the grapes thereof. Thine, thine ox shall be slain before thine eyes, and thou shalt not eat thereof. Thine ass shall be violently taken away from thee from before thy face, and shall not be restored to thee.
That's why in reparations we keep saying, where's our 40 acres and our ass or our mule? Read on.
Thy sheep shall be given unto thine enemies, and thou shalt have none to rescue them.
Nobody came and said, stop robbing these black people. Read on.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thine hand.
So if we're wrong in this room, tell us when this happened to the white people who are saying they're the people of the book. Okay, give us times, give us dates, give us documentation of all this stuff happening to white people who control everything now. They do not fit what's written in this book. That's why they do a good job making sure that you black people don't ever want to look at what this Bible says. Moderator, I'll mute my mic. Do what you like.
Can I ask my question?
Yes, go ahead. Ask your question, Judith.
Okay, men with the green beans, could you please stone me lightly? Take it easy on me, okay?
Okay, we don't got no more rocks. We're out of rocks. So
Okay,
just
and I'm really asking because I do not celebrate birthdays, mine or anyone else's. But if someone sends you something, uh, in your you receive something, do you give it back or do you
Well,
keep it?
I described that here. I was angry at my uh, human resources because they uh, like to give people gifts, and I've said, "Look, y'all violated my privacy." Okay, and they were like, literally, like, "Shut up! If you don't like it, quit." You understand? So again, it's different for each situation. I told them, "Look, I don't do birthdays." They did not care, Judah. My family knows. Don't call me on my birthday. I'm not gonna pick up my phone. But I would not receive it from them because they want you to compromise your walk with God. You understand? So you have to look into that. Give me why trimmest thou thy ways. What is it? Second Chronicles. This
That's
is
No,
Jeremiah two
that's
thirty
Jeremiah
three.
2. Yes, sir.
Jeremiah. Yes, 2:33. I'm sorry. You don't want to be labeled as this. You have to be
Jeremiah,
mindful of this, Judah. Read it.
Jeremiah chapter 2 and verse 33.
Start
Why
with
trim
30. Start with 31.
verse 31? Jeremiah chapter 3, 2 and verse 31. O generation, see the word of the Lord. See ye the word of the Lord. Have I been a wilderness unto Israel,
He's asking you a rhetorical question because he has not been a wilderness. He's always been there to provide for us. Read on.
a land of darkness? Wherefore say my people, we are Lord's. We will come no more unto thee.
Why are you saying you're disrespecting me now, saying you're the Lord and I don't have to answer you? I haven't been a wilderness to you. I've always been there for you. Read on.
Can a maid forget her ornaments,
Because when a
or,
maid gets dressed up, she got everything. She ready to do her thing. Read on.
or a bride her attire?
A bride come with a wedding dress. It's a big deal. She picked it out. She got her stylist. She got her shoes to go with it. Her makeup artist. Read on.
Yet my people have forgotten me days without number.
How do we forget God days without number when we do things to replace God? He is our provider. The air we breathe is because of him. The food we eat is because of him. The daylight, the sun that shines on us is because of him. Me up, bro. What happened to the reader? Is he on mute?
No,
Could
sir.
y'all can hear me?
Now we can. Yes, sir.
I couldn't hear you. Read again.
Jeremiah chapter 2 and verse 33. Why trimmest thou thy way to seek love?
Read the verse before. I didn't hear you. It went out.
Oh, yes, sir. Verse 32. Can a maid forget her ornaments, or a bride her attire? Yet my people have forgotten me days without number.
There is a way we present ourselves to represent God. Read on.
Why trimmest thou thy way to seek love?
When you trim your ways to seek love, meaning you go outside of the instructions that God gave you to represent him to show that you stand for him. He never told us to keep birthdays, Christmas, New Year's, Thanksgiving, Mother's Day. Read on.
Therefore hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy ways.
So wicked people made these things up. So when we conform to them, we're sending a bad message, Judette. Read on.
Also in thy skirts is found the blood of the souls of the poor innocents.
So we destroy the people that are poor and innocent when we don't represent God accordingly. Read on.
I have not found it by secret search,
He said, this ain't hard to find. It's the same thing in New York. Just go out in the street. Read on.
but upon all these, yet thou sayest, because I am innocent, surely his anger shall turn from me.
We say, look, God, we ain't do nothing wrong. Why you mad at us? And that's the attitude. We try to present these things as innocency. But it is a big deal when you receive a birthday gift and you know that that's a custom, that's a heathenistic practice. It's a big deal when you set up a Christmas tree and deck it with silver and gold and start talking about Santa Claus, which Santa and Satan have the exact same letters in their name, and then you saying I'm innocent. So that's what it boils down to when you just, it's just a birthday gift. So what? They didn't know it's my birthday. You're teaching, you're spreading wickedness. So be mindful, Judah.
Okay, so I have to give it back.
I would if it's going to give the person the wrong impression.
Okay, thank you.
Moderator, who's next? Hey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Is the Upload God's Law room ready to
Yes,
go?
sir. Yes, sir. Upload God laws up, sir.
Okay, so I'm leaving this room, y'all. How many people we got here? We got, damn, we have a lot of people here for this morning. 732. So y'all click the link. We're gonna give you a chance to click the link in the box. I'm switching over to that room because we end this room at 12 noon, so it's not too long for the replay. If we go, we've been doing this for 14 hours now. So if we go longer, then our viewers that watch on YouTube, because you can watch the rebroadcast on Israelite Social, sometimes it won't post. So we end this room at 12 and we start a new room called Upload God's Laws. So brothers and sisters, I am going over to that room. Y'all got questions? Y'all could come to that room. Shalom.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, Zeph, if you could grab the link from Upload God laws real quick, post it in the chat. I'm driving. I can't do it right now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and you could pin it at the top of the room too. Pin it at the top. Post it in the chat. All right, fam. We're about to transition over to the other room, so be patient. We're gonna pin the link at the top of the room and then post it in the chat also, so we can just transition over. All right.
All right, yes, sir. It's posted now.
All right. All praise. All praise. All right. Let's read that in Matthew
Yes, sir.
26. So click the link, family. Let's transfer over to the other room. We're continuing with another topic. Is racism still in America? All right. So make sure you transfer over. If you got any questions that you had in this room, you can bring it over to that room, or any thoughts that you may have on the new topic. But let's shut this room down after we read Matthew 26.
Matthew chapter 26 and verse 6. Now, when Jesus was in Bethany, in the house of Simon the leper, there came unto him a woman having an alabaster box of very precious ointment, and poured it on his head, as he sat at meat. But when his disciples saw it, they had indignation, saying, to what purpose is this waste? For this ointment might have been sold for much, and given to the poor. When Jesus understood it, he said unto them, why trouble ye the woman? For she hath wrought a good work upon me. For ye have the poor always with you, but me ye have not always. For in that she hath poured this ointment on my body, she did it for my burial. Verily I say unto you, wheresoever this gospel shall be preached in the whole world, there shall also this, that this woman hath done, be told for a memorial of her.
All right, all praise to the Most High. So the Lord commanded us anytime this gospel come out to make sure that we memorialize and mention this sister for her works. All right, so all praise to the Most High. All right, again, we're gonna shut the room down. Give everybody about 15 seconds to transition over. All right, family. Let's Christ bless.